Blood is just biology. Why your chosen family determines your destiny. Have you ever been told that blood is thicker than water? That your family tree somehow dictates who will stand beside you through life's storms? Today, I want to challenge that notion, and I'm not doing it alone. I recently had the privilege of interviewing the extraordinary TamiTami on the Soft Girl Era podcast, a visionary whose work has transformed countless lives by redefining what family truly means. Her profound insights into how we build support systems that transcend traditional boundaries aren't just inspiring, they're revolutionary in how they're helping people, particularly Black women, reclaim their power and rewrite their stories. What makes TamiTami's perspective so powerful is her ability to blend hard earned wisdom with practical strategies that actually work in real life. She doesn't just talk about chosen family, she's living proof of how the right support system can help anyone beat seemingly impossible odds. So let's start with a radical idea. What if the most important family connections in your life haven't been determined by genetics, but by choice? What if the people who will ultimately help you become your best self aren't necessarily those who share your DNA? I know this feels almost sacrilegious in some communities. We're taught from childhood that blood relatives represent our ultimate support system, that somehow the accident of birth creates bonds that should automatically outweigh all others. But I'm going to ask you to set that assumption aside just for the next few minutes. Because here's what I've learned from TamiTami and the remarkable stories she's shared. Family isn't about shared genetics, it's about shared commitment. It's not about obligation, it's about choice. And most importantly, it's not about blood, it's about love. During our conversation, three powerful truths emerged that I simply must share with you today. First, building your own support network is essential for success. Second, resilience through adversity requires both personal strength and external support. And third, success is possible regardless of your starting point if you have the right people around you. Let me ask you something deeply personal. When you faced your darkest moment, that time when you weren't sure you could keep going, who actually showed up? When you celebrated your greatest victory, whose joy for you felt completely genuine? When you needed brutal honesty wrapped in compassion, who provided it without hesitation? The answers to these questions reveal your true family, the people who love you not because they have to, but because they choose to. Consider the story of Tammy Latrell, a multi platinum songwriter who transformed herself into a successful business executive. Her journey wasn't a solo endeavor. After spending over a decade in the music industry crafting hits, Tammy recognized she needed to expand her impact and create something more sustainable. The transition from creative work to business leadership could have derailed her. The music industry is notoriously competitive, with success stories often burning bright before fading away. But Tammy did something remarkable. She identified key supporters who believed in her vision and made them her business family. These weren't necessarily childhood friends or relatives. They were people who recognized her potential, challenged her thinking, and stood by her as she built a seven-figure agency from the ground up. Today, her agency helps others recover and grow their own businesses, creating a ripple effect of support and success. What's fascinating about Tammy's story isn't just the financial achievement, it's how she maintained her creative roots while expanding into new territory, something that's only possible when you have people around you who understand both who you are and who you're becoming. But building a chosen family isn't just about personal success, it can transform entire communities. Take Tami Raznoff, CFO of Healthcare Network. Her work provides essential services to vulnerable populations, people who often lack traditional support systems themselves. The challenge she faced was enormous, ensuring financial stability for an organization serving those who couldn't always pay for care. Rather than seeing this as merely a financial problem, Tammy recognized it as a community issue. She secured over $70 million in grant funding while simultaneously building support networks within the communities she served. Under her financial leadership, Healthcare Network has served over 54,000 people through nearly 200,000 visits, regardless of background or ability to pay. What makes her approach revolutionary is how she trains the next generation of healthcare providers to focus on the person, not their circumstance. This philosophy, that everyone deserves care and support regardless of their situation, echoes our central truth that family is about love, not circumstance or blood. During crises, Tammy engages with local governments and community organizations to address emerging health needs. She's creating sustainable support systems that will continue serving vulnerable populations long after she's moved on. This is what happens when we expand our definition of family to include our broader community. Sometimes, though, building a new support system becomes necessary after life knocks us down. That's what happened to Ellen Latham, founder of Orange Theory Fitness. Imagine being 40 years old, thinking you've established your career path, only to be fired from your dream job. For many, this would be devastating, a sign to scale back ambitions and settle for less. But Ellen's story took a different turn because of the support network she built after her setback. As a physiologist who lost her position at a high end Miami spa, Ellen could have retreated into bitterness or fear. Instead, she launched a Pilates studio, building a loyal community following. When she connected with business partner Jerome Kern, who became part of her professional family, something magical happened. That single studio evolved into Orange Theory Fitness, which now boasts over 1,500 locations across the United States, generating approximately $1 million in revenue annually. Ellen didn't just create a business, she built a fitness community that supports thousands of members in their health journeys. What these stories from TamiTami's interview teach us is profound. When traditional structures fail us, we have the power to build new ones. When conventional wisdom says you can't, your chosen family says we will. This isn't just about professional success, it's about emotional survival. It's about creating spaces where we can be fully ourselves, where our dreams are taken seriously, where our struggles are met with compassion rather than judgment. As Sister Audre Lorde reminded us, without community, there is no liberation. Your liberation from limiting beliefs, from toxic environments, from self doubt depends on finding and nurturing your true family. So, how do we apply this wisdom to our own lives? Tami offered some practical steps during our conversation. First, identify your current support system. Make a list of 5 people who consistently believe in you, challenge you positively, and show up when needed. These are your foundation stones, the beginning of your chosen family. Second, be intentional about deepening these relationships. Schedule regular check ins. Be vulnerable about your struggles. Celebrate their victories as enthusiastically as your own. Remember that chosen family requires choice, active, ongoing choice to remain connected. Third, look for opportunities to be that supportive family member for someone else who might be beating the odds in their own journey. The beauty of chosen family is that it can continuously expand, creating networks of support that lift everyone involved. Fourth, recognize when relationships no longer serve your growth. Just as you can choose family, you can choose to create distance from those who consistently undermine your confidence or dismiss your dreams, even if they share your bloodline. Fifth, create rituals that strengthen your bonds. Whether it's monthly dinners, annual retreats, or weekly video calls, these touch points become the framework that holds your chosen family together through life's inevitable changes. What's particularly beautiful about this concept of chosen family is how it aligns with what TamiTami calls dropping the titanium cape. As Black women, we've often been conditioned to be strong at all costs, to handle everything alone, to wear that titanium cape. But true strength lies in knowing when to lean on others, when to allow ourselves to be supported. There's a special kind of freedom that comes from having people around you who understand that your softness isn't weakness, it's your superpower. People who know that your vulnerability isn't a liability, it's the source of your deepest connections and most authentic creations. So today, I challenge you to reimagine what family means in your life. I dare you to look beyond the traditional definitions that may have limited you. I invite you to begin consciously cultivating the relationships that will help you thrive, not just survive. Because the truth is, we aren't meant to do this life alone. The myth of the self made person is just that, a myth. Behind every success story are the people who believed, who supported, who challenged, who showed up. Your chosen family isn't just nice to have, it's essential to becoming who you're meant to be. It's the difference between merely existing and truly living. It's the foundation upon which you'll build not just a career, but a life of meaning and purpose. So go forth and build your tribe. Choose your family, create connections based on love, not obligation, and watch as those relationships transform not just your life, but the lives of everyone around you. Because when we redefine family, we don't just change our own stories, we change the world. And that's a revolution worth fighting for.